Hey everybody, welcome back. So we're going to be finishing the remaining 2 pages today, or in this video anyway, I should say. This is where we left off with the last one. Came out pretty good, I think. I was pretty happy with the result. We got these 2 pages to go. Should be a lot quicker. Keyword there, should be a lot quicker than the previous ones, just because there's less going on. Okay, cool. So to make sure the audio was off there. Close that. Okay, so let's duplicate this. So the new stuff that I started doing here for shading, anyway, has been to, instead of shade each page or each thing individually, it's to do this right here. So you guys will see. I'll turn off the color layers themselves. And what we're going to do is we're just coloring. We're just doing shading and stuff on layers on their own. It seems to go pretty quick. Excuse me. I'll give a big, massive chest here. Hey, Rice, welcome back. No, I literally just got back. I took an hour break. Had to refuel, eat some food. I made some pasta, guys, and do you guys suffer from this same problem I have, or is it just me and my fatness? It's like I can't cook. I struggle with cooking the appropriate amount of pasta, meaning I always cook way more than I need. But no, I haven't even touched Zangief yet. The last page, this page right here, buddy. We finally finished this one. This one took so long, just because of all the little things. I've noticed it's going to be kind of scary going forward with the stories and stuff. I mean, the deadlines aren't going to be as tight, but it's like a lot of characters, right? Like battles are going to be a problem. It makes sense, right? Because there's a lot of things to do, right? A lot of characters of color and stuff like that. So then there's pages like this where there's like zero background and it's just the characters. So it evens out. Just kind of have to try to think positive. Just keep working and we'll get there. Do 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 do. Rice Farm is asking, do you make money on Webtoons or is it just a platform to get out there? Currently, it's just a platform to get out there. I'm not sure what else or what I can do to try to get attention from the people over at Webtoons that I guess kind of go through and try to offer deals for creators. But basically, to make money on Webtoons, from what I've been told, I don't know, just what I've been told and I've overheard is that it's exclusivity rights. So think of it like a publisher. So that means if they did present an offer and I wanted to take it, I couldn't post the comic anywhere else. So not even on my main website. But I hear the rate's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what the hell that means, but good enough for people to consider. Like at the same time, right? Like a lot of us were making these comics, our own stuff. You're not making money anyway, right? So when somebody offers you like, yeah, just make sure you keep updating and you'll get a paycheck. That's pretty good. So currently, right now, it's just a platform. I'm not making any. The only money I make on this comic so far, I would say, is Patreon. That's the only thing I would consider, just because everything I update there is like pretty much Jesop King related. You know, like getting pages early and stuff like that. Would you do it if they offered? Do you still own the IP? I believe yes. Like you own the IP for like a period of time. It's like Image. It's always yours, but they get like again. I don't know the details. Just like the ballpark stuff I hear is like. So let's say they ask you, well, how long do you think this thing's going to be? And you could say, I don't plan on finishing it, or it could be, I don't know, whatever. And then the next discussion would be, well, how long is it going to be exclusive here, right? But basically, when you're done, a good person to check out for all this is What is his name? I always forget his name. Sadly. You guys might even know. Sithra, he does Sithra. From what I heard from him is that he's doing everything on Webtoons because they've offered to pay him. But when he's done doing all that, he still collects them and prints them in a graphic novel. So yeah, exactly. So many people to remember, especially when it gets into indie stuff. But that's what I've been hearing too. Astro Beam 74. Welcome. Grab a pencil, grab an art desk, sit down, get some drawing done. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Please let us know where you're from. If you're from YouTube, Twitch, you an artist, you just like watching art, you got a web comic, you got stuff you want to promote, knock it in. Just say hey and introduce yourself. Hey, no, no problem. But would I do it? Just sort of going. I didn't. I totally skipped that question. Um, I'm not sure. I'd have to see how much it's worth. The snap reaction is yes because it's money, right? To do your thing, which is always great. The I guess the other side to that is what are you doing with your comic? Like, does it still match up with your goals and stuff? It's hard to say no when somebody's offering to pay you for you to do your own stuff. But I don't know the details enough to say if I would or not. All right. Astro says, I've been following your YouTube channel for a while. Cool. Cool to see you trying Twitch out. I'm working on a comic, but nothing posted yet. Okay, cool. How do you like Twitch? Do you enjoy it? Do you come here often to watch anybody, or are you just sorry, or are you just here because of the stream today? Either way, thanks, man. Appreciate the long time support. Hey, Cross Contour, how's it going, man? Michael, have you ever thought about doing a My Little Pony the Barbarian Years fan art? I don't even know what the hell that is. I'm gonna say no, because I've never heard of it. The fan art stuff you're talking about, we were talking a little earlier today about it as well. I think it's a fan art's a great way to make money, as well as like get like-minded people that are into the same kind of stuff as you. Um, so I'm not really a big My Little Pony fan, so I don't think I'd ever do it. I mean, unless I was paid for it, but not for fun. Inkbot saying, I can't speak for John, obviously, but I've read the terms of service for Webtoons, and I'm skeptical on the platform because of it. I think Inkbot didn't we you talked about this before, right? Like this sounds like something you did bring up. If you want, please reiterate what it is that you read there that you don't like. I think if I remember, while you're if you're replying anyway, what I remember, if it's correct, is that it's the anything you post on their site is theirs kind of thing. And I don't know if that was it, but there was something that was talked about that for a different site. Could have been even other things, but like you guys, anybody that posts on like Instagram, Facebook, basically, if you're on social media, period, which you kind of have to be nowadays, um, sharing your stuff around and all that, they all have the same sort of rule. And I'm not sure exactly what it means. I haven't heard any like crazy stories yet of somebody's like art getting lifted and it turning into a whole debacle or anything. But I imagine most of it is for like if they were looking for promotional work or something and they saw something you had posted, they could probably just do something with it. I don't even know. Again, I haven't heard any horror stories myself, so I don't know how extreme some of this stuff could get, if at all. Okay, Inkbot saying sort of. The only mention of ownership is in the clause about the end user who reads, not about the user who uploads. As for their actual IP clause, this is part of how it reads. All digital content in service, including intellectual property rights herein and here thereto, are the property of the Webtoons or its subsidiaries or affiliated companies and or third-party licensors. Hmm. It's extremely unclear if you as an uploader counts among the subsidiaries. Okay. Okay. No, no, you. I'm never gonna deny anybody whatever they want to think or whatever, right? For sure. Everybody's entitled to have whatever you want for your own stuff. Or I would suggest anyway, if like what Inkbot just said, or if he's one of those rare people that actually reads the fine print, right? So I would still, if that is concerning to some of you guys, probably just, I can't imagine they would be untruthful, but just send the company an email and just check them out, see what they say, see if they get back to you. DeviantArt did a lot of crap. All of a sudden, you would catch them advertising other artists' art on cups, etc. That's what I'm saying. That's what I wonder if it's like that. To be fair, I mean, I no, I agree. It's pretty shady stuff. Uh, but I don't know. I'm in the under the impression that I mean it's swiping your art, right? Which is never it's never what an artist wants. An artist gets shit on all the time. I guess you kind of have to pick your battles, you know. Like we kind of have to be everywhere because there's so many art jobs out there. Not everybody can do them, but there's a lot of people that want them, and this is just my opinion anyway, right? That there's a lot of opportunity out there, but unless the world knows about you, you'll never get the chance to knock on doors or have people knock on your door, you know? So if the cost of that is having your art, I don't know, on like let's say DeviantArt or Webtoons advertisements without your explicit say so, if that's the cost, I don't know if that's a bad thing or if that's just the cost that comes with like going with a service that does all the advertising and right because like everything that these places do, they're paying for all this stuff, right? Doesn't mean that they get away to they just can do whatever they want. I agree, but yeah, it's I definitely think it's something that's up to everybody separately. I don't think there's like a right answer. I know there's a better answer, like that none of that stuff would exist. You know, if it's yours for sure, you wouldn't even have to worry about it. That kind of stuff. But that's kind of not what we're talking about. What's Comic Easel? Is it like another like Webtoons kind of website? I hate that name too, Webtoons. Oh, Comic Easel. It's a oh right okay now sorry now I get the context. You're saying that's one of the reasons why people use Comics Easel, which is a plugin for WordPress, but the problem is self promotion. I agree. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I mean also like even Tapastic. I'm not fond of that one either. That one really doesn't tell me anything about comics either. Or Tapas, as it's I think it's called now. But although I guess here we go, right? Like when you get into like Nintendo, what the fuck does that mean? What's the Wii? What is all that? Nike. What is that? Or no, Nike's a isn't that a Greek god or something? Or a Roman god? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. As soon as I'm done this, I'm taking a nap. Not this page. This I don't think we're gonna get to the Zangief. Maybe we'll do them a little bit later. Well, I'm just the energy levels are just they're gone. That was my sound effect for like draining energy. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have a nap. I don't know if I'm gonna stream or anything, but I still once these pages are done, I still have to get the next stage or the next pages set up as well. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I get a it's almost like a vacation really, a 4 day vacation. I was gonna say 4 days off. So I want to make sure that I'm being productive. One of the tricks that I've always tried to do for myself, and it doesn't always work, because you know comics are very demanding, and especially when it's your own thing, it's you putting the grind on yourself. But I find when you go on vacation or when you take time off work or even school, it's a really easy way to start letting the bad habits slip in. Like you go to bed a little later, you sleep in a little bit, you eat a little bit more, You go hang out with friends, maybe a little bit more. You got time in the day, and then it's hard to get back on track. So I don't like slipping like that too much. The Greek goddess of victory, or goddess, yes, okay. Ray Summer, you said you were going to change your comic format. Can you elaborate? Sure, yeah. So I've shown there's okay. I always reference Steve Lichman, but I suppose another example would be if you guys have read Adam Warren's Empowered. So think of it this way, okay? So the format is still going to be the same comic page, right? Like still what you guys are seeing right now. Just the updates aren't going to be like every Monday and Friday of just a page, right? This first initial story, like the sad part is, well, maybe it's not sad. I think I forgot to set my timer too. Give me a second. See, we're already falling apart here. Anyway, so what the hell am I saying? Yeah. All right. So the problem that I had or that I've done with this first little bit of Jesop here is I've kind of structured it in a way that makes it come across that it's going to be in print and that it's a graphic novel because it's still the same story. We're like what now? Almost 40 pages deep. This whole story I think is 55, 56 around there. Okay, so we're almost done. But it has that illusion of that, and I never wanted it to ever be that way. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to make a decision on whether or not I was going to do what I'm going to do next, or just go with traditional. So anyway, long story short, what we're going to do is after this chapter's done, every chapter after this is sort of like either a short story or think of like a TV show that's in scenes. So what could that mean? So a scene would be, let's just say they're going on a planet and they have to go get a crystal. We'll do Super Mario, okay? So they're on a planet and they have to save the princess from Bowser. All right, so the story could be like chapter one. It could be them arriving on the planet and they find out the problem. That could be like 6 pages, maybe 10. So what would happen is I would just do all of those pages and I would release them all at once when they're done. Ideally, I don't want to make people wait longer than a month for an update. I think that's getting a little too long in the tooth. We're averaging 3 pages a week, right? So 9 pages would take 3 weeks to a month around there in case something happened in life or whatever, right? So those kinds of things, you're just going to get chunks of like stories so that when I upload it, you can go and you can read a start to finish. Doesn't necessarily mean the story's done or anything, but it could as well. Like it could just be Jesop and Momo arguing in the spaceship because Jesop got hummus all over the controllers because he's been eating or something, you know? And it could just be a gag or it could be something serious, that kind of stuff. I could also do like side stories, like we could have one of like these Doblin characters fixing a ship or something like that. And the main reason I want that is it just seems that it's a lot more fun to write, right? But what it does exceptionally well, since I'm not going, or I have like 10% intention to going into print. Everything else is online. Webtoons has shown me, and same with Tapastic and just reading online in general, that people when you read a comic, you don't want to read a page. Most people don't want to read a page and then wait X days for a page. The tempo is thrown way off. Okay, you want to read something. You want to read a story and get something from that. So it could be 3 pages. It could be 10 pages, right? But the fact that you get it's like anybody that goes to Jesop King right now. There's like 20 something pages up there. If you read it like that, that feels good. There's tempo. You can read the next page when things are happening. There's not constant cliffhangers even on dry points. Like coming up, there's like a next page where it's like there's one speech balloon and it's just action and it's only like 4 panels and there's nothing in there. So if you're waiting a week to see that, that's cool, right? You might like the art and stuff, but sometimes people forget about like where the story's kind of going, you know, and all that's to say that this smaller format I think is much better because when you post it, people are more entitled to share it if they're connected with that story. Again, they could love hummus, let's say, and it's on Tumblr, and they're just like hashtag hummus or something, and it's just a little comic thing, right? And it's contextualized, and it makes I think it's the appropriate format for web. In my belief anyway, that this method that I'm doing and that has been done for a while is not the right way to be putting pages online. It's just my opinion. So anyway, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Kind of like where I'm going with that. Hey Euro, how's it going, man? Fairly, was it? What is your name on here? Fairly funny feline friend. Feel free to hit the follow button there, buddy. If you want to, I know you'll come back for the streams and stuff, but it's good to see you again, Euro. Nemo, me like that. Sounds hard to write though, isn't it? Not. It's the same thing. It's the same way I write this stuff. I use pretty much the Marvel method of writing, which is to say, you just write. I put little like beats, like a beginning, middle, and end, and then that's 3 pages. Or I could beef each one of those up. So the beginning could be they land on a planet. The end is they leave the planet. The middle is they fight a monster. So what I can do is, let's say I want that to be 6 pages. Well, what if you just do two for each? So it takes 2 pages for them to land and talk, 2 pages for them to fight a monster, and 2 pages for them to get off of a planet. That's all I do. And then what I do after I have that is when I start thumbnailing it, that's when I start to like just put a little like cliff notes and like just chicken scratch of like very very loose dialogue. And then when I go to write it, I can just look at that and then write it that way. I know it probably sounds a little weird, but I have some videos on YouTube talking about it. Or if you guys are interested, here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. You can check out my Patreon, and I have a video specifically showing how I write and do this stuff. Always feels greasy. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm horrible. Thanks, man. Where did you get the? If in Clip Studio Paint, if you click right here, I think it's the marker tool. Yeah, just go to the water brush, and it's right there. Smooth watercolor. That's all you want. I haven't done anything fancy with it. All right, so this guy's going absolutely insane. Let's get some cool shadow work on. Yeah, really, it's you could just use an airbrush too. A lot of people use that. I just like the watercolor. It adds like this blend to it. I'm not sure what it is. Like, it's like a transition in here. It's really cool. Back in the day when the internet was still young, and I was looking for art forums, I used to see all these people using this program called Corel Painter, and I saw the most amazing, beautiful, beautiful painted stuff coming out, and I had no idea how they were blending colors. Like, you read tutorials back in those days, they are not. You guys are spoiled right now. If you're at all on the internet right now and you're trying to learn art, or people that are my age or a little bit older and know where the internet came from, I mean, like the super early days, it's tutorials are not in the same league as they are now. Back then, there was a lot of like, oh man, what did they use? I wish they could just tell me what that was, and you couldn't find out. Like, it was tough. It was super tough, especially if you're an indie guy. If you're like in the clique, you could just talk to the people directly. So I'd see all these people doing this amazing rendering and coloring, and then I'd look at Capcom art, and I'm like, all these Japanese people are doing it too, and like, what the hell are they using? And then I found Photoshop, but I didn't know how to digitally. I didn't understand painting. That was my problem. I didn't understand color or anything. Um, anyway, so I got Corel Paint, and then I found out that Corel Paint. I'm more than sure now, looking back, it probably had the same brush in there, but it didn't look like how all these people I was admiring. Like, I couldn't get the same look, and it was so infuriating. So I did the next thing that I know a lot of younger artists do. It's just the nature of the beast. It's never me necessarily. It's the tool, right? So I'm like, all right, well then they must be using a special brush. So then I'd start looking around. Where do you find this brush? And I forget like how deep in the internet I was and forums. I mean like 50 pages deep in a thread, and somebody was like, "Oh, here's the brush" or something like that, and they would upload it, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is it! I found it! This is the moment!" And I'd use it, and I'm like, "Nothing! What the hell?" But anyway, I don't know why. I forget. I just came in here and I looked at the watercolor and I looked at it. I was just doing that. And I was like, "Holy hell!" It was. I think we were actually streaming it. I don't know the actual one. When I found it, it was like nostalgia hit me, eureka, all that kind of stuff. I was like, "Oh my God, this is. I've been looking for this. That's the only reason I use it right now. Normally, I would just do a cell shade thing like this, and I wouldn't put a blend on it. But once I found it, I'm like, I'm just doing it anyway. It'll look nice. Just soften some stuff up. You don't need it. I don't think you need it, but it's more of a nostalgia thing for me, is why I use it. Well, thank you, Nemo. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, you're going to bed? Okay, yeah, man. Enjoy Neverland. I'm hitting a nap up soon too. It's gonna be awesome. Michael, how is Manga Studio 5 with text? Like if you bring in an existing text type and modifying it in the program. Um, can you give me an example of what you're talking about? I will say the text so far has been amazing, like putting it in a speech bubble and stuff and adjusting stuff, and it kind of auto corrects a lot of things. I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah, okay, there, yeah. Create Now Sleep Later is talking exactly what I'm saying. Everyone's trying to figure out how to do Liquid. That was the guy's name, Liquid. I thought it was a company. It may even have been a company. I saw his stuff first from Joe Madureira's Battle Chasers. He was probably working with Joe Mad before that too. Even still, I love Liquid's colors, man. Like once, I forget what he was doing. Was it Ultimates or something? And he was like, Joe Mad stuff was just pencil, and he was coloring just pencils, and it was awesome. It was awesome stuff. I don't know how long it took him to do coloring though. And that's the other thing too, right? I'm not saying you can't do everything, but like I know the coloring for this book could be a lot better if I hired somebody that was a colorist. Color choice, anything, atmosphere, just little things that I'm not aware of, right? So I just don't have the time. So you kind of have to pick your battles. You can kind of get away with doing some stuff. The reason this whole book's colored, I know some of you guys in here, you're probably all the same people that heard me say it, but for those that aren't, the only reason this book's in color is because again the mantra for this book is try to get a bigger audience that checks out my stuff, and just keep making comic pages so that I can consider myself a comic book artist. Because I was doing a lot of illustration for like a good year and a half, and I'm like, why am I doing this? This isn't making me happy. I want more comics. So instead of tracking other people down to write comics for me or to try to get work with people, I have a job. Let's just use this time to do this. So I did that. Specifically for the color though was that if I want for the mantra, right? If I want to get a bigger audience, attention is always brought to color. Black and white's great, but I find that a lot of black and white is just picked up more and appreciated more by artists. Not really like Joe Blow and Susie Q. They just want nice looking things. They don't. Nobody cares about the why. They just want nice stuff. I find anyway. That's just my view on it. So I had to figure out a way to color, and I knew I didn't want to spend a lot of time coloring, so that's why I don't do any highlights. It's just shadow, flats and a shadow, and maybe a little bit of glow on special effects. But just try to do super simple stuff. It's working out so far. I don't mind it. Cross Contours talking about the old internet. In a way, I kind of like that because you had to invent stuff yourself. Like I taught myself composition just by asking myself, why do I like this piece of art? And, right. And I wonder, did you even know what composition was? Yep. No, that's what I'm saying, man. Today, that's why it's weird. I hear a lot of people struggling with art, and I'm not saying I'm like above anybody else or anything like that. I'll never say that. I'm just like, I'm just interested in like how come you have so much out there. What is it that's is it just not speaking to you? What I've come to realize myself, why this might be some of you as well that are listening now or later. If you find that you're trying to learn something, right, and it's not clicking, and you're looking at tutorials after tutorials after tutorials, and nothing's clicking, you still can't draw the head right in a certain angle, right? It's been my experience that the way that you fix that is you stop looking at tutorials and you start applying the tutorials you're watching. I don't think people are spending enough time actually practicing. They're busy looking for like the new tool. They're like doing what I just said with the watercolor. It's not me, right? I found the program. Great, put it in, use it. Shit, still doesn't come together. Then it's got to be a brush. So I go and I look for a brush, and I finally get the brush. I don't know how many hours and days I spent finding the brush, and I find it. Still nothing. And I at not one point was I ever like, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to back this up, and I just need to try to study how to do watercolor or study how to paint. It wasn't like that. I was just seeing the end result of stuff and what people use to get that version, and then try to just do that. And that's it's a great way to start, I think, but it can become, it's like cell phones and entertainment and just social media and distractions in general. They're just distractions after a while, and if you're not making stuff, it's a huge problem. Again, the thing I always like to say is that 80-20 rule. 80% of your time should be making the thing. I don't care what level of skill you're at. If you want to make comics and your anatomy sucks, guess what? You're making comics. 80% of your time is comics, comics. If you're fortunate enough to know that you want to make comics, that's it. That 20% where you think you need to study, and you do. Everybody needs to study. But all the pain and the things you suck at drawing while you're doing the comics, those 80% of the time, you just now made yourself almost like a syllabus of what you need to work on as you in your study time. So it works in tandem. Race Armor. Fun fact: Liquid took me under his wing, and I pissed him off by calling him Hollywood because he was too busy to talk to me, and I burned. Ooh, yeah, that's you shouldn't have said that. Was he a nice guy though? I would imagine if you said that, he's probably a pretty strict guy, and you're probably some punk kid, right? Did you learn anything from him? I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so Michael's trying to get back to me there. Like, if you see a text design, then bring it in. Does the program generate control points handles after this? Oh, okay. So you're kind of talking about like a path or a shape tool, like in Photoshop, kind of like Illustrator, where it's got like a point and like a Bezier curve and stuff. I believe Manga Studio has none of that. That's one thing that I hate about if there was one thing that I hate about the text tool in Clip Studio is that I can't manipulate text unless it's rasterized. There's no like paths. That part sucks. If they had paths in Clip Studio, that would be a 100% game changer. Yeah, sorry. If that is just it, then yeah, man. Yeah. No, you're gonna have to stick with Photoshop. Sadly, it's still primarily a drawing tool. He was very, very nice. He critiqued my drawings and told me to draw skeletons over photos. Biggest regret of my life. Yeah, usually how it goes. Yeah, it's all good. You know what? Sometimes those regrets, because you're just a dumb punk kid like all of us. But you can look back at that and just kind of be upset at yourself, which is good, right? Because you know you'll never do that again, and you take shit a little bit more serious now. So it all works out. It's good. Polycarbon. Oh my god. I remember Polycarbon's tutorials for I think it was like Ghost in the Shell kind of stuff, wasn't it? Had a lot of tutorials. If you wanted to be popular on the internet for like nubs and plebes like me growing up, 100% it was tutorials. If you did tutorials, oh man, my nose was so brown I was following you so close. Euro is saying that sounds a lot like me with the extra tools and stuff. What I do appreciate is finding shortcuts. Like when you learn English, the teacher casually says, "Never use double negatives," and that shortcut sticks with you for life. That's what I'm. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's yes, I agree. That's a very good point. You know what? Here, let me just get something here. I'm gonna share with you guys. I post this from time to time on Facebook. Some of you guys may have already read it. We're gonna do a little story time. Hopefully, it won't go too long. Um, hmm. Maybe not. Give me a second. I have to figure out. I love when you have to think of a way to find something you used to do. Damn. Actually, no. Wouldn't would it be? Was it? Am I smart enough? Let's see if I'm smart enough to have put it in my Evernote. I don't think I was that smart. Just give me a second, you guys. Would I have put it in an email? Okay, I have an idea where I can find it. 1 second, guys. Where do you search? There it is. I can hear myself breathing. It's freaking me out. Really? Nothing there? Damn it. Maybe we'll dig a little deeper here. Fucking hell. Bear with me. I hope this helps some of you guys. That's why I'm trying to find it. And I mean, I could. Some of you guys are just like, really? All of that for that? Why is this taking so long? Alright, screw this. I'm checking one spot. If it's not here, then sorry. All that build up for nothing. Eh? Isn't that cool? Alright, search art tutorial. Oh, here, comics advice? Yeah. Cool. Okay, I think, yeah. I think this was it. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to read this thing. As a matter of fact, before I do that, let's just highlight this. It's off screen here, but I'm going to put up my Evernote. That way, if I have to bring this up again, you guys don't have to wait. But from time to time, I'll get people that I'm fortunate enough, obviously, to ask me for help. And the fact that they come to me at all it's a huge burden and it's a huge burden for sure, but it's also a huge treat that people take my words of advice at all, right? But anyway, basically, this person was just asking for like they've done a whole bunch of stuff and nothing's getting better, and along those kinds of conversations, I'll reply with something like this from my email there. So I say hello to them and. I talk about how I still go through the battle of doing pages. I don't think it ever goes away. To keep this email super short, I have found that I break down the tricks in a few ways. Um, Wait, I think this is a different one. This is oh my god, really? Okay, this is a different one, but it's similar in a lot of ways. Okay, so this is for people that are like stuck, like I just said. Okay, so there's four things that I like to do that are here. Okay, so the first one is just start. That's the easiest one. It's always the hardest part, and it's most important. No skills or software or study will matter unless you start. The question of quality should never enter your mind. Ask yourself, how can I ever get better when I never finish the thing? Build on the shoulders of giants. In this case, willpower is your biggest giant. Okay. The second one is stop seeking tutorials and process. And I'm incredibly guilty of this. The one amazing thing about the internet is how easy it is to solve all of our problems, but this leaves us feeling helpless when we try to act on our own. And acting on something is the only thing that is truly unique to us in our own ways. The third part is stop buying tech and tools. There's a bajillion tools in digital and traditional that each present a learning curve and or a good tryout period. Stick with basics and slowly introduce new in time. Don't let it be what will give you the magical answer to creating better art. So an example would be a lot of people think they need to buy a Cintiq because their digital art sucks. I very rarely have ever found that to be the case. It's usually the other way around. Your fundamentals suck. The tool isn't going to make it any better, okay? And the last one is the fourth one. This one's kind of pretty like they're all important, but this one's pretty much very close to just starting. But ritual. I have found that if I make tea or coffee after work, load up Spotify and open Photoshop or Manga Studio, I'll be happier before bed. It's the ritual, the habit. Make one for yourself. Maybe it's walking for 10 minutes around the neighborhood and then drawing your comic thumbnails at a local coffee shop. Maybe it's eating mom's dinner, finishing homework, playing a round of Call of Duty while keeping a sketchbook by yourself and drawing between matches. Maybe it's putting the kids to bed, spending time with your special someone, then grabbing some water, flipping through an art book, and then heading to the kitchen table to draw from your imagination. And I say this in all capitals, just make a ritual that you can fall into as your willpower grows. Okay, so I hope that helps some of you guys out. It's just, some stuff over the years or whatever that I've found to be true for myself. So, if it helps you guys as well too, cool. Okay, let me see what we're saying here. Demon, John, on Clip Studio Paint, how do you add new fonts? And is there any default fonts that are suitable for comics? I don't know if there's any suitable. You're probably best off just looking on like comicbookfont.com, I think it is. And then there's another one that I always get the name wrong. I'm sure somebody in the chat will help you out with the name of that. There's some free fonts you can download. Check those out. You just install a font like you normally do. If you've never installed a font before, you just download it, double click it, and say install. You're like, yeah, it's pretty much it. And then either you might have to restart Clip Studio so that it picks up. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty easy. John, where is those tip located on your website? Blambot, that's the other one. Thanks. No, it's not on my. Oh, did I close it? I did. Give me a second. I'll paste it in the chat. Okay. I don't even know how the hell this will work because it's a bigger one, but I'll paste it in chat, see if it works. If not, I'll give you guys a link to it on my Evernote. It was a private email that I send to people. That's why. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of spelling errors in here. Okay, so the information's still there. I don't have the time to go through there. All right, let's see if I can paste it all. Boom, wall of text. Feel free to hit enter after the numbers so that so you can read it in the future. All right, timer. Start. All right, let's do this. Fighting tiredness or like sleepiness so much, you guys. I'm just a big baby. Let's get this going so I can go to Neverland for a little bit. Do you guys not see the text? Did it not show up? I was wondering if it would. I mean, it's a lot. That's why I don't know if it'll show up. Here, we'll just do this. Make it easier for you. Share link. Anyone that's sure can now share your note to deactivate it. Okay, so I guess I'll just leave this active for a little bit. There, that should work. Oh shit! Actually, let me check something. Okay, that's fine. Just let me know if that doesn't work either, guys. Okay, cool. It worked. All right, sweet. Yeah, no problem. It helps me. I like honestly, the just starting is the advice you hear everybody say. But that's why I believe it's like the hardest one because everybody already knows that. So why aren't you doing that, right? The ritual part for me has been the silver bullet. If I can figure out a routine as simple as it could be, like I say, getting coffee or what I like to do. Streaming has helped me big time. It's almost becoming like an addiction. Like I can't start unless I'm streaming. Like I won't draw. Like because I'm sitting at the computer anyway. I'm like, well, I may as well just be like broadcasting this. Why am I not? You know. But what I like to do when I come home, I've shared with this with you guys too, is it's kind of the Pomodoro technique, but you don't always have to use the Pomodoro with it. But the Pomodoro technique was amazing. That helped me finish a lot of projects. But Trello, having an idea of all the projects I'm working on and what stages they're at. But when I get home, deciding how much time I'm putting into each thing that's got to get done today, that's helped big time. Because what I'll do, right, is it's not like I'm punished. All I got to do is work. I enjoy my video games. I enjoy doing things other than art, right? And if I look at my list, I'm like, okay, I got a lot of stuff to do today, but I still want to be happy. You got the 9 to 5, you got whatever else you're doing in your life, so you can just go, okay, well, I want to have an hour, or even if you wanted to go be, maybe a little bit too greasy, but like I want 2 hours of video game time today. So you just on a little notepad, you're like 2 hours, right? And, okay, I'm talking in a whole bunch of like language here that doesn't make sense. So you come home. Here I'll show you guys. I just can't describe this well enough. Okay, so you come home, grab like a little piece of paper, whatever. Let's just assume you got dishes you got to do. You want to play, I don't know what. We'll just put game. It could be anything. Comic you want to work on, and you wanted to email, I don't know, an editor, or you wanted to reach out to an artist. Blah blah, blah, right? I also do something that's called administration. That's when I go through like my to-do lists. If I have emails to send out to people, like correspondence, like I want to do art for you, but I need your email address, that kind of stuff, right? So what I do is I'll look at this, but the first thing I do is I come home. So let's just say I'm home at 5 p.m., right? I'm like, well, how am I feeling today? Do I feel like shit? How late do I want to stay up today? I got to get up at like 7 tomorrow or 6 in the morning tomorrow. So if I would like 8 hours of sleep tonight, let's just assume you go to bed at midnight, just to keep this super simple, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That gives you 7 hours to do whatever the hell you want to do. So you're gonna have to cook and you're gonna have to do some stuff. So I don't know how long that takes you. Maybe you're like, what, I gotta really move on this stuff. I'm gonna make like some microwavable food or some shit, or a smoothie or a shake or something like that, right? But let's just say it's like 2 hours. 2 hours of your night are just settling down from coming home. Maybe you kiss the wife or the girlfriend, the boyfriend, pet the dog, whatever, right? So that means you're gonna start work at, let's say, 7 p.m. So you get home, you got until 7 to get into your work mode, right? So from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that gives you 5 hours of work. Then you get to decide what you want to put your time towards. That's it. And why it's so great about the Pomodoro thing, Pomodoros are just timers. So 25 minutes you work and 5-minute break. Right? So that would be a half hour. So it's 2 Pomodoros for every hour. So that's going to give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that means you work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. 25 minutes, work 5-minute break. Don't worry about all the other stuff that's good, right? So you look here and you're like, okay, what do I need to do? Dishes are probably gonna take like a half hour. Okay, bang. I'm gonna wait for the game because I know I would like to, but whatever. I need to email these editors because I'm not sure. Maybe I can get a job with them. Blah blah. That shouldn't take more than a half hour. Cool. Administration. You look around. You're like, you know what? I don't even care about that tonight. Do it tomorrow. This is done. Dishes are done. So now the big debate comes with: do I want to do something that's going to affect the rest of my life, your comic book, or do you just want to have an enjoyable night tonight, right? So you look and you're like, kind of beat. I'm beat tonight, so I'm going to put 2 hours into your comic that night. That means you get 2 hours of game or read a book or movie. This is it. This is it. If you can start doing this ritual right here, please send me emails to jonathanrector82@gmail.com. Let me know how awesome your new life is and how you didn't do this sooner and how now you feel like you're in control of everything and you feel like when you wake up there's a point. You don't just let the day take over. Going to bed is exciting now because you don't have to worry about this stuff on your mind anymore. Waking up in the morning is great because you can look at your list and go, guess what I'm doing today? Some of this stuff. Your productivity is going to go through the roof. You're going to be a comic making machine. People are going to start asking you, hey, so-and-so, how do you work so much? How do you get so much done in a day? And you're going to say, because time is like budgeting your bank account. My shoulder's on fire right now. Time is like budgeting your bank account. If you don't spend a little bit of time once a week, once a day is the best. If you don't spend that little bit of effort, I got to stop. This thing is on fire. If you can't do a little bit of this, how the hell are you ever going to get control of it? Now, I say it's important just like money, right? Time is money, right? Cool, look at this stuff. This is 100% real. If you can't go, okay, I'm spending too much money here and here and I need to find out how to take control of my finances, which is kind of simple to do. Just need some discipline, just like time, right? So people that are complaining about not having enough time in the day or they just have too much shit going on in their life to draw, compare yourself to somebody that has some real shit going on, and you'll quickly see that that's not true. I draw like 8 to 12 hours a day. Infinite Roleplay, welcome, man. You draw 8 to 12 hours a day, so you're already on the top of the productivity list. You guys are too funny. Okay, that's not at all the shadow color we want. And the last thing I'll add to that little display of stuff I was just showing there is that only applies to people that complain. And you're allowed to complain. If you're not happy with what you're doing, meaning like you wish you were doing more or fill in the blank, right? Then that kind of stuff is what helps you out. If you go to work or whatever your life is right now and you're happy, you're content, you're happy, then you've already won. You're actually like one of the rare people in the world that has made it. And that might sound weird to some people, right? Like maybe you go and you work for somebody doing something. I don't know, you drive trucks or you stock groceries or whatever, right? But you go to work, it's you don't mind it, it's whatever. It's your paycheck. When you go home, you can relax, watch a movie, or play a video game, draw every now and then or something if you feel like it. Go hang out with buddies and stuff. I'm assuming then you're not really worried about like what I just showed you, and you don't have to be. What I just showed you is like for sickos like me, where it's I'm never satisfied and I always feel like I'm not doing enough. It's like a sickness, I'll tell you that. It's not. I wouldn't. I envy people that. As much as I said I like to play video games, like all that crap. It's always eating at my head that I should be working, and if I'm not working, it's like somebody else is working. Like it's bad. I've never been able to just like go on vacation. Let's say I don't even remember a vacation really. Go on vacation and just be like, let me just sit in the sun. Let me sit in the backyard and enjoy the weather today. I've never been that guy. And I envy people that are. Boy, do I. Oh, boy, do I. All right. Cool. All right, so we get this done. Yeah. All right, we're cool. Let's. Oops, almost forgot. We got to use our smooth watercolor. Let's give this a little TLC. Little TLC. Make Momo look real nice. There you go. Soften up the package a bit. Soften up the muscles just a skimmage. Okay, cool. Should be done. All we need to do now is go back to this guy and turn off all of this fun stuff. And we need, look at that, that looks so cool. This first panel, I just need to get the shadow color. Okay, so we got all this. Let's lock it all up. We're just going to fill it in with that purplish pink color. And we're just going to drop these into the folders. And through the magic of digital technology, you're going to see this come to life in front of your very eyes. You guys ready? You ready? Here we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Look at that. It looks like everything was done with pastels. All right, let's put it on multiply and quit screwing around. Harmonize those shadows. Do you believe in magic? You guys believe in magic? You can make a clip of it need be. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So I think, did I miss anything? Oh, right. Yeah. Well, okay. I actually forgot to do this in the last one too, so I'm going to do it now. We're going to make a new layer above everything. Forgot to draw the highlights on these people's eyes. Inking. All right. Let's give her a nice little shine. Okay. Let's do it on that layer. Nice. How's it look over there? Cool. And the queen, she needs some gloss fest, right? She looks like she's having a good time in a cage. All right, now the last, most critical, important step in all of this is we need our color balance layer. What this does, again, is all I've done is use the flats that are used on every single page, but a color balance layer is what I've been using to harmonize the colors even more, and you can change it to be like in a hue, like a certain like a feel, if you will. Here, what the hell? There we go. Okay, so let me give you an example of what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, so on your guys' screen right now, I got a color balance layer. Can you reset this? Yeah, let me reset this. Okay, so this is gonna just start off normal. Okay, this is the flats we have. What the color balance does, or at least what I'm trying to get with it, is like it allows you to slightly change the color of everything together into something, so that what you can do is sort of like give it an emotion. So let's say they're in a forest. It's gonna be a little hard to see with this bright orange background, but let's just assume they're in a forest. It's probably greens and blues, right? So what you do is, all I do is the shadows and the highlights. I don't really mess with the halftone just yet. Maybe I might, I don't know. So the shadows in the forest are probably purplish blue, right? So I'm just going to shift it to blue a little bit, maybe. We'll see how it looks. I got to kind of look over here. It's probably like pretty shadowed, you know. Maybe we get a little magenta action going in there. This might be too much, but on the highlight, we're going to go into like greenish yellows. Because we're in a forest, right? With a little bit of light coming in, maybe. Like that shadow might be a little hefty. But you can totally play around with this. Maybe we'll go in the halftone. Maybe we'll bring in the green a little bit. Let's see how this makes it look. Like, let's just, it's kind of looking swampy. Maybe a little bit of cyan. But you see what I'm doing here? Just by shifting this kind of stuff, you get like a lot of range. Let's just say that's it. I don't think it works, but let's just assume, right? Like if I turn it off, this is where we started. That's where we're at. Some other stuff you can do as well, right? Is like, oh, can I just undo that? Let's see if that'll work. Beautiful. Let's say they're, I don't know, in the where I was gonna say like a volcano or something. I did this before because it's the same stuff. But shadow and volcano. Let's just say we're going red. Let's just go red for shadows, and like yellow for highlights, right? So highlights just go yellow, like super simple stuff, right? Like, do you see how it feels red now? Like it's feeling hopefully hot a bit. You can still play around with this stuff, but this is the only reason why I use the color balance. Is I can get the flats; they're always the same. Apply something. This one I have a greenish, a little green tint to it. There's pages before that I started using that in. Whereas, like if we look at page one, I'll bring up page one for you guys. Page one is like yellows. It's very warm. You see, a lot of a lot of stuff like they actually look a little different. It's funny. Been drawing them for a while now. Now they're starting to like look a little different. But look at Momo and Jesop here, right? Like look at her skin. Look at his skin. Everything's blue. Everything's the color it is. But if we go to the page we're doing right now, look at them. They're like green. You see it? But it's still the same. It's all the same, and it's almost like a little bit of an optical illusion. It's funny how that works. Let me just answer your questions here, guys. Can you please quickly review the layer structure you're using for coloring, or you mean just drawing? Okay, so we have this, and then of course the last thing we do is my favorite, is the paper texture, and that just makes it feel so good. Paste it there, turn it on, delicious. Look at that, crispy, delicious. Look at that. Look at that paper. Love it. Love it. Look at the text. How's the text looking good? Yeah, not bad. All right, I'll save this up. I got to do all this stuff off stream where I export it, get it ready for all this stuff like that. Sucks to be colorblind. Yeah, that does. Yeah, thanks, Cross Contour. That's why I did it. Yep, try to make it feel a little bit more like an older comic. A panel or a page? Is there a color balance trick to get that look most movies employ nowadays with the blues and oranges to really stand out? What you could do with that, so what I'm using is a color balance, but a lot of those, like, I think they use color keys or something they're called. There's things like gradient maps you can get too, right? Like here, I'll show you guys this. So let's just say this is the, we're going to try it on here. I have no idea how this is going to look, but layer, new correction layer. Oops, sorry, before I do this, timer. So the half hour. What page did we just finish? This one? Yeah, so half hour, so 1.75. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go layer, new correction layer, gradient map. So what a gradient map does is it basically, think of it in terms, this is the way I understand it, okay? So you got your white to black. So you got all these shades of gray in between it as well, okay? So what you're doing is with a gradient map, you can replace the colors. So in anything that would be white would be a color. Anything that's black would be a color in between. So as you can see, this is what it did to the image, right? So if we just double click like blue sky, you see up at the top here, it's basically saying anything that's pure white is here, anything that's pure black is a blue. So you can see what's happening here. And this is a very quick way, like you can see like, okay, now they're in like Iceland or something, you know what I mean? Like you can totally do this kind of stuff. So to kind of get to what you were saying, let's see if we can kind of, can you just pull this stuff off? Yeah. The same thing works here in Photoshop as well, if you're wondering. So let's pick a color. I hate this color thing. So we want like these oranges. I don't know if we'll go like bright. Yeah, maybe we will. We'll try that. Okay, so we'll go bright orange, and then we want like that blue, right? But this blue is not. It's no good. Maybe like kind of come up here a little bit. Let's take a look. Ew, gross. I don't know. I'm just gonna hit OK. I'm gonna try changing the blending mode just so we can kind of see here. Let's see, like a screen. It's interesting. Overlay. Hard light. Go to color. See how that looks. It's probably not gonna look very good. Yeah. Hue. Anyway, you can play around with a lot of this stuff. Screen is probably gonna make it feel softer. But with the color balance, I think I know what you're saying. Where it's that it's weird. It's like a mix of adding levels to something as well. It's not going to read very well on here because it's just flats. You know, like if here, let's delete all this crap. There should be a video about all this too. Oh, okay. And I'm not gonna. I guess I am lying to you too. So there's a lot of videos that I show this, but if you guys, this is me being super greasy right now. I'm just doing the real stuff here. I'm not trying to pitch. I'm just being open with it. On Patreon for $3 a month, you can cancel after the first month. I don't care. That's fine. I appreciate any support, of course. But every month I do a tutorial based on something you guys wanted. Whoever's watching or whoever's a patron, right? A few months back, I did an entire process showing the coloring that I do in this thing. So I suppose you could look at it as like a $3 tutorial if you're interested. Okay. If you don't got the money and all that stuff, I don't. That's fine too. I'm just letting you guys know. Okay. If you want to check that out. As for this, let's try this layer correction layer. Let's try another. Actually, let's try the gradient map here. So let's just put like a. Like I don't mind this, but we need to get blue going. So maybe we can just shift this over a bit. Ugh. I feel like it's just too dark. Bring it up a bit. Now we're getting some neon land. Anyway, let's just assume it's this. I'm just trying to check out. So if we go to like screen, no, that won't do it. Multiply, add. It's funny how it's turning it into something that it's not. It's interesting. There's guys like if you're looking to color and stuff, there's so many little like things you can click on that just. Okay, I gotta get out of here because I'll be in here all day. Photoshop, you can just press down, you know, and it'll just go through this stuff. Difference. Ooh. Anyway, play around with this stuff. I just wanted to show it to you because it's pretty cool. Not a lot of people use this. And a lot of cats, you might be some of them. When you guys color, you think that you have to color pick the color that's there. And the hard part with that is if you're not very good at color, which is totally fine, right? Is that it gets super confusing and it gets difficult to see. And you start worrying about not necessarily the right. You're worrying too much about like what's the right color, as opposed to where's the shadow supposed to be. And that's really all I'm worrying about myself right here with this stuff. Where am I going here? Sorry, window, workspace, no, canvas, new window. Let's just grab that, and pop it over here. Okay, sorry, yeah. So the layer structure, I totally skipped that. Is there a bubble? Is there a... Thanks, Cross Contour. Appreciate that. Okay, so that the way I answered that to you just made it sound like. Anyway, okay, so this is how I normally do it. Let's take a look at this will be a fine one. This guy right here, the scared guy, panel 3. All right, so this is what I do. Let's turn off all the layers. So I have one layer that just fills in the entire panel. This is great if you got backgrounds and stuff, but I like to just do that so it gives me like a little area to work. You don't really have to worry about it, okay? So the next thing you're really worrying about, that's it, is I do the same thing. So this is called like a, what's the word for it? You're basically blocking the character out, okay? So you just come in here and you block it out. You can see like I just colored him. And then I make another layer, right? Let me just get rid of this so you can see it. Oh, I guess I drew inside anyway. But I make another layer on top of it to add the rest of the color flats on this guy, like the other colors. But what you do is over here, can you guys see this? Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah. So right up here, right next to the lighthouse, it looks like a tuna can or something. If you click that, it says clip at layer below. So what that does is you can get real sloppy with your art. Because we just made like a cutout of this guy, right? We just made an image of him. Every layer above it, we clip it. You can paint, like his eye and then go like way out the line, but it'll crop it here and you won't see those lines go outside. So it saves you a bunch of time. And that's it. The other thing I'm doing is I'm just making one layer, pick a color for your multiply, or sorry, pick a color for your shadow, change it to multiply, and it'll apply over everything. I hope that doesn't sound super complicated. I feel like it probably is. Sorry about that. Great Nazi Blur John, the 3-level Patreon has archived tutorials. What's the difference in the 15? Oh yeah, it totally does. So most of the tutorials they're on YouTube. They're private links, so I'm not trying to hide things too much. Normally you don't have them. Excuse me. I've noticed some people are sharing them around though. So I mean, if you dig, you might be able to find them online for free. I'll be just totally honest with you. It's skeezy and greasy, but I know how the internet works. But yeah, they're all there. I don't know if you're following anybody on Patreon or not, but anything that's posted, not everybody does this, but I do it. I archive everything so you can always go back and look at things. Sometimes people, what they'll do is like, I'm doing a tutorial a month, and they leave it up for a month, and at the end of the month, they remove it. So it's sort of like, you got to act now and get it. That's not what I'm doing. It's just always there. So you can go there, you get access to friggin' everything I've ever posted. $1 gets you everything except the tutorials. The tutorial gets you a tutorial plus everything else. The $15 one, if you got it's this stuff. The $15 one gets you a bust sketch of any character you like every month. A high resolution file as well as like a web version, so you can just look at it. And if you wanted to print it out, you can as well. If you guys remember, we did like the Professor Xavier the other day. I'll show you guys. So you get something like this of like whatever character you like. Okay, so you get that. Plus all the tutorials, yada yada yada. And I think the only other one, I used to have another one, but I believe the other one is just a Google Hangout. So for one-on-one hour hangout, we can talk and shoot the shit, whatever you want. You need help, tutorial, anything like that. I'm all there for you. The only difference is you don't get this with that as well. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Is it basically the KO layer? Yeah, pretty much, yes, yes. If that makes it easier for you to check it out. Yep. Hey, yeah, no problem, guys. If you go to Patreon.com, there should be links at the bottom. Just click there. I should let me know if they're not showing up for you. There should be tier reward lists you can see on the right, just like Kickstarter. I think Kickstarter's like that, and you could see like what you get for the amount. The only thing that I haven't added on there, and I have to get back in there, it's just adding text. Is every week or every other week I do like a thing called Scribble Chat, where I just sort of shoot the shit like a podcast kind of thing for like an hour or so, or sometimes 15 minutes. It's just whatever. And I kind of talk to you guys about stuff. Try to do like motivational crap or whatever. If you're interested in that you get that at any pledge reward as well. And thank you guys for like even being interested. I do appreciate that. Yes, and I forgot. Well, yeah, they should. Plus, you get all the brushes I use too. So I think that's worth it alone for $1. And again, you guys, if anybody is interested, for $1 you can check it out, and then at the end of the month just cancel it. Cancel your subscription if you don't like it, or you just wanted to get the brushes or whatever, And if you don't want to, it's cool. We're gonna keep doing this. No pressure. No worries. I will say if there's Patreon members here, I say this all the time too. Like, thank you guys for those of you that can, financially support me in a way with this stuff, because with your guys' support too, man, like I've been able to say like no to a lot of work just so that I can make sure that I'm getting this thing going, and I'll forever be grateful for that. That's crazy, and I don't know. That's why I say the internet's an amazing place, you guys. There's so much opportunity out there, and all you have to do is just make stuff, and be you. If you're an asshole, be an asshole. People like assholes. If you're a nice person, be a nice person. People like nice people too, right? So the internet has shown that you can be you, and maybe not make a living just yet, but you can get pretty close. I guess it's just how hard you want to do your stuff. And some people don't like to do the internet stuff, right? You want to go work at a company or something. That's fine too. There's possibilities. And the last thing I'll say about Patreon, unless somebody else asks something, is even if you guys don't like the idea, I say go check it out. Not even just for me, but go check out the other artists that are on there. I've seen a couple that I've actually been eyeballing for a little while. I'm considering pledging because they do like some pretty sick tutorials that they post. I'm just like, I just want that PSD. I just want that file that I can open. I just want to click some stuff off. I just want to like break down what you're doing a little bit. But I recommend checking out some artists you might be following and stuff. They might be doing some stuff on there. Uh, you know, um, I guess just to bring it back to me to make it sound even more selfish, but the Jesop King stuff, what I post on there, I post this kind of stuff. Okay, so you'll always get the pages a week before they go live. And I'm not sure how it's gonna go with the new update schedule when we change it. Pretty sure you'll just get the entire story like probably a week before it goes up, or something. I don't know. But I do this as well for you guys, for those that are interested. Let me just show an earlier one. Yeah, all the way from back page 5. If you guys have been watching the streams, you guys have seen this stuff, but it's kind of cool to look at if you're into process. So I post these like the day after they're posted. So it's the thumbnail to the breakdowns to the lines to the inks for every page, so you can kind of in one spot see that stuff. I know that's that's mostly not for people that are just enjoying the comic, but it's just for people that are artsy fartsy people that are process junkie kind of stuff. Cross country saying the streaming, this is cool for us and the artists that are less introverted and like talk to people. Absolutely, and I don't ever want to change the streaming stuff either. It's super fun. I enjoy it. The point of what I'm doing with this, like, I was trying to decide if I was even going to stream this stuff when I started, but I wanted to just be as open as I can for like the artists that are here, right? To sort of be like, in a way, if I can be inspirational, that's all I want. I want to document the process for everybody else that might consider starting. Maybe I can give the illusion that this is a lot easier than maybe you thought it was, so that gets you started and moving and doing stuff, right? Plus, I hope I fuck up along the ways. That way you guys don't have to make the same mistakes or anything like that. And any successes, I obviously will share all that stuff with you guys too, so you guys might be able to like, bring that into your stuff too. And just copy what I'm doing in some way. Massive shadows here. He's pretty much going to be just straight shadows in this. Well, thank you, Fairly, Euro. I do appreciate that, man. And you've been a really sweet guy as well. So thank you for everything you've done too. Very supportive. Gubstav. Oh man, I'm gonna try my best to say this. Gub Stavobble. Stavobble? Stavobble? Gubstavobble. Gubstavobble. Is that how you say it? It's it's hard for my Canadian English to break that word down. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. How high are we going here? Little spoiler for you guys. So the next page, he's looking real like angry right now, right? And the next page, it's like guess what he does? He starts talking. Still no action. The world's most boring comic book, featuring a guy that looks, or a machine that looks like he's just pure steroids, and he just won't fight. What is his problem? What a waste of your time. La, 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 la. Tell me, how in the world are you figuring out these shadows on the go? So I've done this. The answer you don't want to hear is I've been drawing these shadows since 2002, maybe around there. So I'm very comfortable now with just sort of figuring this stuff out as I go. I've just the muscle memory, and that's not going to help you at all. That's why I said I'm not. It is what it is. But the easiest thing you guys can do, again, there's my word, easy. What you can do if you're ever trying to figure out like lighting for your drawings, right? Like let's what could I open? I know what we could open. One sec. I'll show you. Did I put it in there? Let me see. Comics. It was free comic book day, wasn't it? There it is, free comic book day. Yeah. All right, let's open this up. All right, let's turn off all this garbage. Get out of here. Get out of here with all this. Look at these layers. Come on, man. You don't need this many layers. Who needs this many layers in your drawing? BG rocks. Okay, cool. So what you do is you just make like an image on the side that's just like this, okay? And all you do is you get a big, you make a layer, and you put it on multiply, right? And you get, I wouldn't, you could use whatever you want. I probably wouldn't use a hard edge brush because it can get a little like, screw it. You know what? No, let's do it. Let's keep this as simple as possible. So grab a large brush, and I mean make it big and fat. Look at this. Look at the size of this mofo, right? Okay, so I'm going to have to, okay, do this. Make it like 72 DPI so your computer doesn't die. This is basically a rough idea. I used to do this all the time. It was advice given to me when I was trying to learn shadows, which was like make a photocopy of the drawing you're doing, and grab like a big Sharpie marker, or if you got like the biggest pencil you can go to the craft store and buy. That's like, don't spend a lot. Just something with a fat tip so that you can't get in there and do detail. You're just gonna be blocking in shadows, okay? That's why I'm shrinking this down to 72 DPI because we don't need 600 for this. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill in, you can do this a couple times with different spots and go, that's the lighting I like, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let me just zoom in here. Let me just make sure this is, all right. I just don't want it to lag when we're doing. So let's just say we're doing traditional top from bottom, right? So you can just, like real quick, just go in there and go like, okay, what's the lighting? All right, maybe we can put all this guy in shadow down here and put some shadow over on this side. Maybe someone, yeah. Take your time with it. I'm rushing it just to show you like the example. I'm just going to do him here. I'm not going to do like the rocks, right? So you can go, all right, that took how long, right? Maybe add a couple minutes for yourself. You guys got to get used to it. That's fine. Turn the layer off. Make a new layer. If you like using paper, you can do it on paper, right? We're going to do the lighting from the right now, okay? So I'm just going to go, all right, so we get some lighting here. Probably going to have more shadow there. This whole side, because it's in shadow, is probably going to have a lot more than the other side, right? Okay, I got that. And we'll do one more. What the hell? We'll do from the bottom. Like there's energy coming up from underneath of them or something like that. What helps, you get better doing shadow work, period, though, is understanding if you get, the more comfortable you are with understanding how form is in 3D space. All I'm doing is like imagining tubes and stuff right now that I'm adding light to. Okay, so there you go. So you've got 3 different versions, and you can just turn them on and off. Which one do I like? And this didn't really take that long, right? And you're just like, I kind of like. Let's say you like, I don't know, this one. So what you do is you have that, and you save it off as some garbage, piece of crap file that you're going to delete later, and maybe have it on a second monitor, or just keep it up open so that when you're going back and forth between, you're shading, you can just quickly look and be like, right, okay, I had an idea that all the shading here. It kind of takes the not the guesswork, but your brain can look at this and then look at what you're drawing, go like, okay, that's where I got to go. That's how I got to get there, kind of thing. Okay, I hope that makes sense anyway. Eric Canet, is that his name? Did something good like this on his stream yesterday. Just give it away. You'll be miles ahead of people you are teaching anyway. By the time they catch up, you'll be moved on to better stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's any secrets to hold on to. Why? He was talking about why he allows people to see his process. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. All of us, like, if the moment you stop trying to be a student, I think is when you start running into some problems. Start running into some big time problems. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, let's try this. I'm going to put pretty much like all of them in shadow for a second here. Oh, it looks so dynamic. This looks so badass. Look at him. He created shadow just for this panel alone. All right, I like the hell out of this, but what we're going to do is I'm actually going to erase some of the stuff I was doing up here. This doesn't really make sense to have shadow up layer like that. I'm going to bring this shadow down this way. That way the light's kind of like just hitting off his back. I'll just kind of like change up the way the shadow's hitting so it's not totally symmetrical. And this is actually an interesting way to work. I saw this off of Sketchcraft's channel, actually. Hope you guys follow him. Tremendous guy. And apparently this is how you're supposed to do lighting. And I look at lighting. I was taught how to do light and shadow from a penciler. Okay, so apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but you're supposed to add everything kind of in a shadow, and then you draw in light. That seems weird to me. I'm not used to that. So I've been trying to do it from time to time. I do notice it does help. It does help when you're trying to be aware of it and stuff. So in this case, it works great when something is primarily in shadow. Because what I would normally do with this is if this was primarily in shadow, which it is, I would be like drawing in all the shadows. But now that I have the shadow, there's a whole bunch of areas down here that I'm probably not going to hit, right? But in Manga Studio, they have this little thing right here. I don't know if they have this in Photoshop. Right underneath the color, this basically, as I draw, it'll erase, which is really cool. And if you use this lasso fill tool that like automatically does it, you know, you can do stuff. So like, check this out, right? So I'm imagining cutting out light right now, and it's a little bit different. Like my brain is, I've felt myself getting headaches doing it this way because for whatever reason, I know I can do this with the other way around where the whole thing's in light and I'm just drawing in the shadow, but it's so weird. I wish I had like a better explanation as to why that is. Just not used to it, I think. See how odd that is? Like you're just drawing in light. It looks cool though. It's fun. Alright, he's got to have his head coming down here. Let's flip it here. Look at that. That's such a cool little effect there. It's funny drawing like this. It seems like cheating sometimes. So basically experience. Well, everything's always down to experience when it looks easy for sure. But just keep track, guys. So I can sew basic forms, but sometimes little grooves and bumps make me go, how the hell? Hey, no problem, man. Yes, do basic forms for sure. Doctor Disrespect, right? Yeah. The name. I love him. Like Etch a Sketch. Etch a Sketch. How far down are we going with the shadow? It like the thing is, it's making him look super ripped too. All right, let's try to. I'm gonna draw back in. Whoops, draw back in with shadow for his head. Like his head's doing like a cast shadow on his body here. All right, so we go down here now. I'm kind of wondering. Like he should have light down here, but I think I'm gonna. The one thing is because he's overlapping panels in a lot of ways here, right? If I remove it, if I keep him in shadow, it puts him back. It puts him in the background more, which is probably a good thing. So I'm gonna try keeping it like that. But we have to get rid of the shadow in these layers because we don't want them. So we're just gonna delete it. Delete it. All right, we're gonna save it because it's computers. Oh fucking hell! All right, let's keep going. Now this one, what I'm thinking of doing is we're gonna do some gradient action. Yeah. Go this way. No, I'm just gonna try something here. I'm just gonna erase into the shadow here. Not sure how this is gonna look, but we'll see. I just want to make sure I'm not drawing over stuff, so let's turn all that off. Yeah, I know, yeah. He looks like a Voltramite, eh? Is he Conquest? Is he... I can't remember the name of the main bad guy. Alright, we forgot something. We forgot our watercolor in the last one. Have to go back and add that. Yeah, I haven't. Once I heard that they were done with it, I just stopped reading it. I'm sure one day I'll go back and I'll buy like the last little like big massive trade paperback that they put out. The first 20 issues. Oh, really? It gets really. If you didn't like what you saw in the beginning, I get it. Like once Kirkman or yeah, Otley gets on there, it really starts picking up myself. Ever try creating work with only trying zip tone like old TMD? Yes, there was a few streams we were doing where I was actually considering just making the comic like that, just for speed, I guess, for the comic. But we ended up not doing it because, again, the main thing is I want to build an audience, and color is the easiest way to build an audience. Now I know the argument usually just comes back to like, yeah, but what about The Walking Dead? In my opinion, The Walking Dead is only very popular not because of the comic, but because of the TV show. So that argument doesn't exactly exist, in my mind. I could be very wrong. Manga is different. Excuse me, manga is different. I know, but this is a very like I don't know. Color, in my opinion, helps this book because it's. I try to think of it a little bit like a Saturday morning cartoon show. A little bit. It's gonna get more serious and less, goofy, I suppose. But in the meantime. Uh, Yes, it should be. Oh my god, please tell me I was recording. Yeah, no, I'm recording, right? Yes, I am. I'm recording this, and the the earlier portion of the stream will be put on YouTube as well. All most likely it probably won't be out for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It's just I have to make the thumbnails and stuff, and I've just been. It's so low on the priority list of things to do, so they just sit there. But so here's a little pro tip for you guys as well. Okay, as soon as these streams are done, they're already on Twitch. You guys just watch them. You can go up to the little. I think there's an icon somewhere up at the top. If you're not familiar with Twitch, anyway, this stuff's like always saved and archived, so you can just watch it there. You don't have to wait for YouTube to watch like something that just happened. So there is that too. Okay, because I know it'll go on. It's gonna take a while to get on YouTube just because I have to make the thumbnails for it. Man, I had too much pasta. So fat. What? My $1,000 book was only worth a nickel before the show. uh, John, if you have Amazon, there's an awesome documentary on the image revolution. At the end, they talk about the Walking Dead pitch. It was pretty funny what Kirkman did to get it made. Okay, I'll have to check it out. King is saying only gripe I have with Twitch vids is they don't have a 1x5 or 2x speed sign. Ah, gotcha. Well, here I'll give you a little pro tip. Let's say just get a little piece of paper right now. The time we're talking about right now is. Oh, we haven't been recording for two. Has it been 2 hours already? Holy shit! All right, I'm gonna assume an hour 45 minutes. Mark that down for this video. That's around this time, so you don't have to. Maybe if there's something floating around there. You only have 7 vids though, John. They all don't get saved. No, there's only. That sounds about right. I think we've only done about 7 here so far. I think they do get deleted over like a few months. No, that's not true. I don't know how long they stay up, but we're still here. This is all new, man. This is all fresh. This is all new, right? We haven't been on Twitch for too long.
Welcome, and thank you for the follow.
Ooh, who joined? Who joined? Let's go take a look. A little look. See, Le Monde d'Axel. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for following. Where are you coming from? YouTube, Twitch? You an artist yourself? Do you got a comic or anything? You want to post in the chat? Say hi to everybody? Introduce yourself? Oh, you already did. I can see you said hello there. But thank you for following, my man. I appreciate it. Or lady. Not sure who you are, but I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And feel free. If you got questions or anything like that, you want to know some stuff, process, all that, you can always ask. They don't say forever because he's not a partner. Oh, cool. A partner. How do you become a partner? Is that like when you get the subscribe button? I don't know at what point we need to get that. Not that I want your guys' money for that shit, but some people enjoy giving it away on that stuff. So I had sent off an email to Twitch, and they said that the channel's basically too new. I had to contact them in a month, and they're going to determine the growth at that point. And then from there, they'll make a decision. If not, it's like it's gonna be one of those things. We'll just if it's continual no's, they're just gonna keep sending stuff, and we'll let you know once you hit a certain point where they can make money off the channel themselves, right? So no rush, no rush. Let's be honest, we're comic book artists, right? All we have is patience. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. Be right back. Okay. Let's turn that back on. How's it going, guys? Let's see what we got here. Awesome. Okay. So let's hurry up and get this done. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the day a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's catch up with here. I know a streamer who got partnered in like 2 months, but she's a girl with certain advantages. Even with 20 viewers, she was getting donations like crazy. Jeez. Hey, whatever. Good for her. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna just. We're going straight Shadow Town. I want to speed this up. I know this might sound like a little. Oh God, oh, here we go. Start cheesing it. But I think this adds to the drama as well. So, in my mind, I'm justified with it. If we kind of have like a. What was the shadow we had? Going to the right, right? Yeah. So if we start to really put like. We're going to do this. Check it out. Oops. It's like a cartoon kind of thing. Like we're just like. I'm going to do this to the bad guy too. You know, kind of like their. It's like the, if you ever watch like a cartoon or an animation, it goes like this, it goes like, like you'll see the darkness go like right on the eyes, that kind of thing. Demon. Hey, straight up, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Don't ever feel sorry or like you're interrupting me or anything. I'll let you guys know if I can't do anything or anything. But don't ever feel bad about asking the question. There's no bad questions. Stupid questions are too many questions. Okay. I just thank you guys for being here. Saying all that, he says, when using the rulers, are you only able to draw on the guides? Because like if I have a horizontal ruler, any line outside the blue guide isn't straight. Okay. Well, I'll quickly show you what I do. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you're doing a little different than I am. That's fine. Okay. So when you use the ruler, right? You're using the what is it? I use what do I use? I don't even know what I use. Perspective ruler, right? Yeah. So let's say we're gonna do a horizon line like you're saying, and you hold Shift. I'm assuming so it's straight, right? But what you're doing with the perspective ruler is you need to think that you're making vanishing points. So that means that this is the horizon. You can pick any line. Let's just go with like a generic one. So like a line going up and down like this or something, right? So check this out. When I go down, bang, it's going to make this little thing, which is a perspective point. If I don't add any more, there's only one vanishing point on here. So what it becomes is a 1 point perspective, okay? So if you want 2 points, or 3 or 4, you don't go crazy. You just make some more lines. So I'm going to throw another line down, bang, sure. But you see where it's intersecting? When I put another line, it's wherever I go, the horizon line is going to move based on that. So you see how it snaps because that's kind of where I put the initial one. This feels like something you got to play with a little bit yourself so you can kind of get the feel for it, but it'll snap. And there you go. You got 2 point perspective. I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about or not, but when I'm on the layer that's got that, right? So if we start making, you can make as many lines as you want in this perspective, right? You can do all this fun stuff. But let's say I'm lowering the opacity because I want to tighten the line art now. If this is what you're talking about, where you go in there and like your lines, maybe they're not connecting. Shit, I don't think I could show you this. I think my video is cropped here. Damn it. Okay, well at the how am I gonna do this? Print screen. Let's do a print screen. Right here, at the top of the UI, these 3 buttons right here. This is what you want, right? So right now that one's clicked. I don't even know what they mean. The one on the left is snap to ruler, snap to special ruler, and snap to grid. So just click on and off, see which ones work for you. But that way you can always have it on. So when you're drawing in a new layer and you want to like tighten these lines up and stuff like that. If that's what you're talking about, I'm not sure. When using the rulers, are you only able to draw on the guides? So I'm wondering if that made sense to you. If that's what you were talking about, just let me know. No, okay. So I mean, like for example, if you use the figure ruler and make a circle, oh yeah, you can only from what I'm aware of, yes, you can only draw on that, which sucks, which totally sucks. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I like that. We'll see how it works when it's all together, but we're gonna do the same thing with this guy. Maybe not. This is hard to do. So what if we go? Oh, yeah, that's better. Sweet. Okay. All right, it's magic time. We ready for magic? We ready for spells? We ready for like? We need like some weird transition when we start doing this stuff. All right, so let's go through this and make these all color layers. Bang, 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 bang. Turn on all the shadows. Ooh, nice. All right, we're gonna hit that save button. It's an important button. And let's go find our shadow color. Nope, nope, nope. Is it this one? There it is. All right, so let's start. Now, I'm not sure it's gonna look when we get all together here, but let's just try it out. All right, let's get rid of that one. Now we might change some of the color up. We'll see. So let's turn on all the flats. Okay. And so this one is panel 1. Let's merge those together. That's panel 2, 3, 5. That's some sharp. That's nice. Hey, no problem. I'll talk to you later, buddy. Thanks for coming in too, man. Okay, so we were kind of talking a little bit earlier in the stream. This yellow. Uh, we are like, we don't know if we're gonna use it. Now that it's here, I don't hate it. Definitely don't hate it. Let me find the lines here. I think we'll just. All right, so we got that, and then this. Yeah, I like that. That purple. Okay, this. Let's change. No, it's just a gradient. It's just him flexing his fist. I'm trying to change the background so it's not just like so it stands out here. Um, I mean, it could look like he's gathering energy too. So, you know. Uh, Larry, how's it going, man? Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. So now we're getting to that special moment in this whole thing where there's 3 magic layers we put on everything. Oh, here we go. Let's put some text in there so you guys can read it. Just it helps when the word balloons are on there. It just makes it feel like, you know. All right, now we're really gonna make this thing sing. Let's get our friends here. Let's grab our color balance layer. It just brings everything together. Let's take a look at how that goes. Yeah, and then we're gonna grab our paper. Let's get the credits on there. Before I put that on there, JesopKing.com. We gotta change the color. Let's whoops. There you go, so people can read it. And close it. Presto. Nice. How's it look? Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna walk away from it. I'll give it a couple days. There might be something I might add to it. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's fine. Just been staring at this stuff all the time, so that's going good, John. Thanks for asking. I didn't think you would remember me. Been around since the time you were streaming with Eric Faries. I always say his last name wrong. I always feel bad about that. Faries. I'm pretty sure it's Faries. That was a while ago too, man. Yeah, no problem. Oh, it's kind of amusing. You, adapted your comic art style to get quicker, relying more on colorists. Now you're the colorist, and the damn inker left work for you. I know, right? How weird is? It is kind of funny. It's sad, really. I don't know about, but anyway. All right, let's close this up. I'm gonna kill all the streams here. I gotta prepare all these files, get them uploaded and posted and scheduled for another time and all that cool stuff like that. But thank you guys. I wanted to work on the Zangief today, but I'm burnt out right now. I've been doing a lot of John today. Some other shit. You guys don't care. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Tomorrow should be doing another epic stream. It might maybe not as long. I got some house chores I should do. Damn house chores. I just want to draw. We'll see. Most likely I'll be streaming at least at some point during tomorrow. So what we should be doing, if it's just Jesop stuff, we're gonna be doing the breakdowns and all that stuff with the new pages. Keep that going. If it's not that, then the Zangief as well. Was he before Will? I want to say he was. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's doing well. It's the only reason I stopped doing that with Eric was so when I do this, I can ramble and stuff like that. It's me. When there's somebody else there, it's a show. And I don't want to make shows. I don't want to interview people. I don't want to shoot the shit with people. It's when you guys. Besides the point, you guys are there, and I get to discuss with you, but it's on my terms, right? When somebody else is there, like I do like some hangouts with people, like other artists and stuff like that. Just us when we're just doing this, where it's you don't have to continually talk. But when you stream, you kind of have to. And it's nothing against Eric. Eric's a great guy. It's just I didn't want it started to become like a okay now there's somebody else I have to talk to make sure we're ready to go and it's you guys know how long was it while I was trying to figure out like Wednesday streaming became a point where it was like it's a scheduled time. That's why I don't put a schedule on these streams, because as soon as I schedule it, two things will happen. One, viewership will increase, which is great, right? Because everybody knows when to show up. But secondly, I have to start arranging things around there, and there's nothing wrong with that, except you got to kind of have to put it on the chopping block of like, okay, what's the thing that you have to put the most focus on, and for a while it's always been projects, right? So that's why the streams are the way they are right now. I doubt they'll ever have anybody else on the show. Again, it's not even a show, because then it becomes one. It's just I'm streaming. You guys can come hang out with me, and that's all it is. You know. Oh, cool. Yeah. No. Hey. Yeah. No problem. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Let's. Like I said, I'm gonna kill the stream. I'll put a song on to leave. I guess. I don't know. Let me just get this set up here. I'm gonna put on my most favorite of songs so far. Like from radio. You guys are probably gonna get sick and tired of this song. I love it. I love it. Where am I going here? There it is. We'll get that started in a second. But anyway, thank you guys again. If I see you guys tomorrow, cool. If not, everybody that just followed today too, appreciate it. You guys are the best. I hope you guys had a good time. Hope I was able to help you out. And if you guys feel free, please check out the comic, jesopking.com. Check it out. Let me know what you think. If it sucks, I'd love to hear that too. Please tell me why it sucks. You know, all that stuff. Looking to always improve on all that and all that cool stuff. So anyway, keep reading comics, you guys. Keep making comics. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Let me try that again. It totally sounded like I hit puberty there. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. It's brutal.